be this much closer to the secret origins of the Titans in this week's incredibly creepy episode of Attack on Titan. Spoiler warning if you haven't seen this one, this was a pretty crazy episode of Attack on Titan with a lot of things going on at once. Basically, Walrose has been completely breached by Titans and they are pouring their way in. Or are they? There might be something going on here, and I have a feeling it has something to do with the mysterious appearance of that beast Titan. Not only that, but it seems like Titans are just talking left and right now. At the beginning of this week's episode, we go back to that scene with Connie at his village, and he's found his house, which has now been completely destroyed by this really freaky Titan which can't move. And they've decided that they have to move on ahead. There doesn't seem to be any blood or bodies all over the place, so there's a good chance that his family might have actually escaped. Or they might have become something else entirely, as when Connie is leaving, the Titan actually speaks to him, telling him, "Welcome home." That Titan very well may be one of two things. It could be a Titan that ate his mother and is somehow being able to communicate through its body, or that Titan is his mother and was actually transformed that way. I'm not sure how this went down. Maybe his mother became a Titan and devoured the entire village completely clean without a drop of blood all over the place. All I know is it is a very disturbing scene, especially for Connie, but luckily Reiner is there to sort of knock some sense into him and get him back on the mission, and that's when they decide to start joining up with this other team, which is desperately trying to figure out where the Titans broke into the wall, and that leads to what I think is some of the most tense and disturbing imagery from this entire episode. There's a great scene where everybody is riding along the wall, and they're trying to figure out where the Titans actually broke through, and it's so dark at night that the moon isn't even lighting up the forest. So they're just hanging around in pitch black darkness. All they have are their torches, and they can't see like 2 feet in front of them. And you're just waiting for a Titan to explode out from the darkness. And there's this one guy who's like imagining all of these Titans that are surrounding them, ready to just tear them limb from limb. And honestly, it's horrifying when you really think about that concept. Luckily for them, however, it is night, and supposedly the Titans are a lot weaker during that time period. That's something that the history of the show would tell us. That is until the very end of this week's episode, when we get to see that a lot of these teams have actually come together, which includes like Reiner and Barrett Holt and Connie, even Christa and Ymir, and they end up going to this big abandoned castle and holding up for the night, when suddenly this massive army of Titans just shows up and they start to wreck up the place. We even get the reappearance of the Beast Titan, which is literally climbing over the walls. It seems like he's up to something really big here, and he's probably the ringleader of this entire thing that's going on with the Titans, and things are not looking good for them. And it's a shame that Christa is here, because apparently she's going to be instrumental to apparently what's going on with the Titans inside of the walls, at least according to Pastor Nick. This is where I believe the plot is officially going to begin to thicken. There's a scene actually earlier on in the episode between Ymir and Christa, with Ymir being completely protective of Christa as usual and demanding that they actually don't go to the south because it's just going to be overrun with Titans. The problem is they signed up for the military, so they gotta get some work done. And then, of course, there's the relationship between Ymir and Christa, which is borderline like a loving relationship, and honestly I can see it going that way. But Christa herself seems to have some extreme importance, because by the end of the episode, Pastor Nick is saying that she has some sort of connection to their religion and the fact that there are Titans in the walls, and that they've actually used the Titan bodies to create that hardened substance, which is the actual like outer layers of the walls. So something really important is going on there, not to mention at the end of the episode, there's even this like small scene between like Reiner and Ymir, where Reiner seems like he's very angry with Ymir, as if he's almost like suspicious of something that's going on, when suddenly they start to get attacked by Titans. I don't know what's going on here, but I'm very interested to see how it's all going to turn out. And you have all of these different forces which are actually converging on this event as well, with Armin, Eren, and Mikasa, who are actually making their way to that castle as well. And you even get the return of some classic characters like Rico, who makes an amazingly badass entrance in this episode. She made me fall in love with her all over again. It was another one of those like mandatory, we have to have a kick-ass action scene moments in the episode kind of thing. but it really paid off well. So what's the rundown on this week's episode of Attack on Titan? We are finally starting to get into the deeper elements of the story, and the good thing is this week's episode didn't shy away from some cool action, so if you wanted that, you're gonna get it. But the most interesting things about this episode have to be Christa and Ymir, and what apparently their relationship is going to mean to the Titans in the walls and this ancient religion which Pastor Nick is completely devoted to protecting. Now, there were some hints in some of the Attack on Titan OVAs. Like, there is the Talking Titan, where it mentioned Ymir, or at least, like, the name Ymir. So Ymir seems to have some sort of connections to the Titan. Whether she knows it or not is kind of a mystery here, but her absolute dedication to Christa leads me to believe that she's also going to have some sort of important involvement with it, maybe something to do with her family, because that's why Ymir claims to actually be so involved with Christa in the first place, is her revered family. And we have to remember that Christa and Ymir both have incredibly distinctive character designs, and anime law states that if you have a distinctive character design and you don't just blend into the background, you're probably kind of important, and we should be paying attention to you. But the fact that they're going to be involved with this crazy event, I can't wait to see what's going to happen. Now, unfortunately, they showed a really big trailer for the second season of the show, and I already know that in the next episode, we are going to see some form of Titan fighting against another Titan, and that's because they showed it. We actually got to see that tower, the castle that they're actually in, and I can't wait to see if that's going to be another, like, Titan shifter type character, kind of like Eren or Annie. Like, there could be someone who's within this group who actually has the ability to transform, and it could very well be Christa, it could be Ymir, it could be even one of these, like, mysterious side characters who considers themselves a badass. If there's one thing the series has taught me, it's that they like to keep these characters very secretive and only reveal them at crucial moments, and I have a feeling that's what's going to happen in the next episode. It's also very important that we start to learn a little bit more about, like, that weird hardening substance that the Titans themselves create. And Hanji Zoe even proposes the fact that they could use Eren in his Titan form to actually close up this hole if they actually find it. And they have this really cool image of him in his, like, giant Titan form with all of that, like, weird crystallized hardened concrete type substance just sort of, like, jetting out from his body and his hair and his hands, covering up the hole. I don't know if that's going to happen, and the only reason I say that is because there might not be a hole at all, but that still brings up the bigger question: how did these Titans get within the walls? And that goes back to the scene with that weird Titan at the beginning of the episode. What if this is someone who was somehow transformed into a Titan? What if the Beast Titan has the ability to, like, vampire people and transform them into his very own followers? Or maybe it's something else altogether. It all is going to lead to the Beast Titan, but I can't wait to see, like, how all of these events are going to connect with one another, and that's honestly what makes the series so damned enthralling in the first place. Again, it's really not too complex and it is easy to follow, but the drama is there, the good animation is there, and all of the characters are there, and they're all pretty damn great. So, this was a great episode of Attack on Titan, which has got me more intrigued to see what's going to be going on with the bigger picture, the story, all of the connections to Christa, the Beast Titan, and the fact that they still remembered to bring up the fact that they want to go see what's going on in Eren's basement. That is probably going to be the key to all of this. On the technical side of things, this was another great episode of Attack on Titan. The guys who are working on the series are doing a great job. They've extended the color palette a little bit more than the first season. Not only that, but I just love that scene where they're roaming around in the dark. That was just so damn creepy. Way to build up some atmosphere. I really loved that one. And the scene with Rico attacking the Titan and the cannons and everything, that looked really damn badass. I think we can all agree on that one. And the next episode looks like it's going to get even crazier, so let's get excited for that one. So, this was another great episode of Attack on Titan, delving a little bit more into the deeper elements of the story and the lore of the world, giving us some action and building up some more of the future developments of the series, so it's definitely worth checking out for Attack on Titan fans. I'm giving this week's episode another 5 out of 5. Attack on Titan is back, and it's continuing to blow our minds, so check it out, anime fans. If any of you did watch this week's episode, make sure to tell me what you thought about it in the comments section below. Do you have any theories as to what the deal is with Ymir and Christa? Do they have some sort of extreme connection to the Beast Titan? What is in Aaron's basement, and what do you want to see from the rest of this exciting season of Attack on Titan? Thank you guys for watching this review. Make sure to subscribe to the channel for all things Attack on Titan anime related. Make sure to leave me a comment about what you thought about this week's episode. I'd also love to talk with you guys about it. And of course, if you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, please give it a thumbs down. I'll see you guys next time. And as always, stay dandy, baby.